another tutorial from the Golden Ribbon. Today we're looking at Inkscape Basics, the spray tool. Now we have a document open, but to get the spray tool working, because it works just like a spray can, we need something to spray, a shape, a template. So we're going to have an object, and I've already created an object, which is the star that we have right here. I'm going to make it slightly smaller, this size, and you know what, let's bring the rotation to absolutely straight up so that we can see the results better. So I'm going to get this, I'm going to copy it with Control and C, or you can go to Edit and Copy. And then we're going to activate the spray tool, which you can activate with Shift F3 or A. And as we have A open, bring this down, we have in front of us a spray can, a cross, and a circle, which is in orange. The orange circle is the spray radius, and the cross is where the spray center is. So we have 3 modes, and then we have attributes that affect each one of these modes as we spray. So we're going to look at the 3 modes. The first mode is the most free mode, and it deals with copies of the initial selection. So this is our selection, and we're going to copy it as we spray across the canvas. So we're just going to left click and drag, and we see that stars are appearing. Same to this star right here. And these are all copies of the initial selection, but they are unique in each one of them and have their own properties. So if I want to change the color of this, if I want to rotate this or scale this one, change this color so you can see. If I want to translate it, I have the power to do so. And if we go to View, Display Mode, and Outline, we see that each one of them is their own object. So we're going to go to Object, View, Display, Normal. So we're going to move on to the second one. And the second one is to make clones. So I'm going to press A, and I'm going to select Spray Clones. Now clones is a slightly different phenomena. Even though the objects are individual, and you can edit them individually in terms of translating them, all of their other properties, that scale, rotation, and their color, take direct reference to the first copy that you made. So if I spray again like I did before, blue stars, the first copy that I made is the star here. So this is the parent, and these become the children. So if I want to scale it and make these all bigger, I can scale this one star here and the rest follow. If I want to change the color of the parent, all the children follow. If I change it to a different color, follow. If I rotate, all of them rotate. Good. So everything we do to the parent affects the children, and that's the power of clones. That's a very handy tool in case you have to repeat the process for say a poster, and you want to change the stars to 5 different colors. You can just change one star and instead of having to edit all the stars at once. Very, very powerful. Now we're going to move on to the last one, which combines all the objects into one path. So we're going to activate our spray tool, press A. We're going to select this one in a single path, and that's the last one. And we're going to use this star again, so let's just scale it down. And let's copy it once more, press A, and we're just going to spray with this. Oops, looks like I didn't copy it, A, spray, good. So we're going to spray again, and we notice that the box around the stars is increasing as I draw, and that's because all of these stars are joined into one single path. So I can't edit any individual one, unlike this one where I can translate them and move them around, you know, rotate them as I see fit. And even these I can't rotate individual, I have to rotate it as a whole. So if I go to View, Display Mode, and Outline, you'll see that all of these stars are joined together, unlike these, which are their own individual objects. View, Display, normal. So these are the three modes. So to summarize, the first mode is the freest mode and deals direct copies of the original selection whose properties are individual to themselves. This one, which is the second one, which is via clones, copies and makes individuals. However, all the properties of color, rotate, and scale can be affected by the original copy or star, which is the parent that you created. And it could be a square, circle, any object, but it takes its color, scale, and rotation from its parent, which is the original copy. And the last one is where all of the stars that you generate join together to make one path. Now these are the three modes. So you have clones, path, and copies. So let's move on to the next part. Let's grab our star. Let's delete this for now. And we're going to look at the attributes that affect each one of these things. So I'm just going to copy it once more, go to A, and these are the different attributes. And you have the first one, which is width, and width controls the size of this orange circle. In other words, the range of the radius which the stars are produced on the screen. So if I increase the width, then I increase the range or the size of this circle for which stars can be produced. The amount talks about the amount of stars produced in a single click drag. So the higher the amount, the more stars produced in a single click drag. The rotation talks about the randomness of rotation from the original star that appears as we draw or click and drag across the canvas. So the stars that will be produced randomly will be a different rotation from the star that's the original one. So if it's 0, then all the stars produced will be the same rotation as this. As you can see, it's the same rotation, same orientation. But if it goes 100, then every star produced will be a different rotation from the original. Scale works the same as rotation, but for the scale. So every star that's going to be produced, if at 0, will be the same scale as this star. But if we want the scale to alternate, then every other star now will be a different scale and size than the original star. And we can view this in display mode, outline. Oh, let's first change this to the first mode. And looking at the outline, you see that there's barely any star that's the same size as this one, scale as this one. All of them are either bigger or smaller. Let's go to view, display mode, normal. Okay, for the last one now, we're going to be looking at the scatter and the focus. Now scatter and focus both deal with where the stars appear within the radius, the circle radius. Focus deals with its exact position, and scatter deals with its distribution within the circle. So to do with scatter, it talks about the randomness of distribution. So if scatter is 0 or 1, then you know that all the stars will be appearing almost exactly where this cursor is, which is the cross. If scatter is 100, the stars will be distributed evenly within the circle. So some will appear at the edge, some will appear in the middle, some will appear in the center. Pretty much, you'll have them distributed in all different places. So this is the randomness of distribution of the stars. The focus talks about where the stars appear exactly. So if I have a 0 focus, they will all appear in the middle. And if my focus is 100, then they will all appear on the very edge of the circle. So notice no star is showing in the center of the circle. No matter how much I create, all of them are on the edge. Good. Sorry. So when dealing with scatter, you're dealing with the distribution within the range of the circle. When dealing with focus, you're dealing at the focused position of where these stars are going to be going to appear once you click and drag. And that's the spray tool. If you enjoyed the tutorial, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions to ask, leave a comment here or on my website, and feel free to ask the questions. But until we see each other again, get up and design a new dome. Later.